Day 90, 2 Samuel 21 through 24. David counts the fighting men. 21. The Gibeonite avenged. Wars against the Philistines. 22. David's song of praise. 23. The last words of David. David's mighty man. 24. David counts the fighting men. Point to ponder. Pain is never pleasant because pain hurts. But there is a pain that comes from your Father in heaven, who cares too much to allow you to sin with impunity. Read Hebrew chapter 12, verse 5 through 11. And thank God for His chastening in your life. It's a sure sign you are His child.
Chapter 21. There was a famine in the days of David 3 years, year after year, and David sought the face of the Lord. The Lord said, It is for Saul, and for his bloody house, because he put to death the Gibeonites. The king called the Gibeonites and said to them, Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites, and the children of Israel had sworn to them. And Saul sought to kill them in his zeal for the children of Israel and Judah. And David said to the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you, and with what shall I make atonement, that you may bless the inheritance of the Lord? The Gibeonites said to him, It is no matter of silver or gold between us and Saul or his house, neither is it for us to put any man to death in Israel. He said, Whatever you say, that will I do for you. They said to the king, The man who consumed us, and who devised against us, that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the borders of Israel, let 7 men of his sons be delivered to us, and we will hang them up to the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, the chosen of the Lord. The king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the Lord's oath that was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, whom she bore to Saul, Armoni and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she bore to Adriel, the son of Barzillai the Maholathite. He delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the mountain before the Lord, and they fell all 7 together. They were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, at the beginning of barley harvest. Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth, and spread it on the rock, from the beginning of the harvest until water was poured on them from the sky, and she allowed neither the birds of the sky to rest on them by day, nor the animals of the field by night. It was told David what Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done. David went and took the bones of Saul, and the bones of Jonathan his son, from the men of Jabesh-Gilead, who had stolen them from the street of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them, in the day that the Philistines killed Saul in Gilboa. And he brought up from there the bones of Saul, and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of those who were hanged. They buried the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son in the country of Benjamin in Zelah, in the tomb of Kish his father. And they performed all that the king commanded. After that, God was entreated for the land. The Philistines had war again with Israel, and David went down, and his servants with him, and fought against the Philistines. David grew faint, and Ishbi-benob, who was of the sons of the giant, the weight of whose spear was 300 shekels of brass in weight, and being girded with a new sword, thought to have slain David. But Abishai the son of Zeruiah helped him, and struck the Philistine, and killed him. Then the men of David swore to him, saying, You shall no more go out to us in battle, that you don't quench the lamp of Israel. It came to pass after this, that there was again war with the Philistines at Gob. Then Shibachai the Hushathite killed Saph, who was of the sons of the giant. There was war again with the Philistines at Gob, and Elhanan, the son of Jaarioregim the Bethlehemite, killed Goliath the Gittite's brother, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. There was again war at Gath, and there was a man of great stature who had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number, and he also was born to the giant. When he defied Israel, Jonathan the son of Shimei, David's brother, killed him. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants. Chapter 22. David spoke to the Lord the words of this song in the day that the Lord delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies, and out of the hand of Saul. And he said, The Lord is my rock and my fortress, and my deliverer, even mine. God, my rock, in him will I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge. My Savior, you save me from violence. I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. For the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodliness made me afraid. The cords of Sheol were round about me, the snares of death came on me. In my distress I called on the Lord, yes, I called to my God. He heard my voice out of his temple, my cry came into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled, the foundations of heaven quaked. They were shaken because he was angry. There went up smoke out of his nostrils, fire out of his mouth devoured, coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also and came down, thick darkness was under his feet. He rode on a cherub and did fly, yes, he was seen on the wings of the wind. He made darkness pavilions round about him, gathering of waters, thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness before him coals of fire were kindled. The Lord thundered from heaven, the Most High uttered his voice. He sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and confused them. Then the channels of the sea appeared, the foundations of the world were laid bare by the rebuke of the Lord, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. He sent from on high, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy, from those who hated me, for they were too mighty for me. They came on me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands has he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his ordinances were before me. As for his statutes, I did not depart from them. I was also perfect toward him. I kept myself from my iniquity. Therefore has the Lord recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to my cleanness in his eyes. With the merciful you will show yourself merciful. With the perfect man you will show yourself perfect. With the pure you will show yourself pure. With the crooked you will show yourself shrewd. The afflicted people you will save, but your eyes are on the haughty that you may bring them down. For you are my lamp, Lord. The Lord will lighten my darkness. For by you I run on a troop, and by my God I leap over a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a shield to all those who take refuge in him. For who is God save the Lord? Who is a rock save our God? God is my strong fortress. He guides the perfect in his way. He makes his feet like hinds' feet, sets me on my high places. He teaches my hands to war, so that my arms do bend a bow of brass. You have also given me the shield of your salvation. Your gentleness has made me great. You have enlarged my steps under me, my feet have not slipped. I have pursued my enemies and destroyed them, neither did I turn again until they were consumed. I have consumed them and struck them through, so that they can't arise. Yes, they are fallen under my feet. For you have girded me with strength to the battle. You have subdued under me those who rose up against me. You have also made my enemies turn their backs to me, that I might cut off those who hate me. They looked, but there was none to save, even to the Lord, but he didn't answer them. Then I beat them small as the dust of the earth. I did crush them as the mire of the streets, and did spread them abroad. You also have delivered me from the strivings of my people. You have kept me to be head of the nation. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. The foreigners shall submit themselves to me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey. The foreigners shall fade away. They shall come trembling out of their close places. The Lord lives. Blessed be my rock. Exalted be God, the rock of my salvation. Even the God who executes vengeance for me, who brings down peoples under me, who brings me forth from my enemies. Yes, you lift me up above all those who rise up against me. You deliver me from the violent man. Therefore I will give thanks to you, O Lord, among the nations. I will sing praises to your name. Great deliverance he gives to his king. He shows loving kindness to his anointed, to David and his seed forevermore. Chapter 23. Now these are the last words of David. David, the son of Jesse, says, the man who was raised on high says, the anointed of the God of Jacob, the sweet psalmist of Israel. The Spirit of the Lord spoke by me. His word was on my tongue. The God of Israel said, the Rock of Israel spoke to me. One who rules over men righteously, who rules in the fear of God. He shall be as the light of the morning when the sun rises, a morning without clouds, when the tender grass springs out of the earth, through clear shining after rain. Most assuredly my house is not so with God, yet he has made with me an everlasting covenant, ordered in all things and sure, for it is all my salvation and all my desire, although he doesn't make it grow. But the ungodly shall be all of them as thorns to be thrust away, because they can't be taken with the hand. But the man who touches them must be armed with iron and the staff of a spear. They shall be utterly burned with fire in their place. These are the names of the mighty men whom David had. Josheb, Basshebeth, a Tachamonite, chief of the captains. The same was Adino the Eznite, against 800 slain at one time. After him was Eleazar the son of Dodai, the son of Ahohite, one of the 3 mighty men with David, when they defied the Philistines who were there gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. He arose and struck the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand froze to the sword. And the Lord worked a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to take spoil. After him was Shammah the son of Agi, a Hararite. The Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a plot of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the plot and defended it, and killed the Philistines, and the Lord worked a great victory. 3 of the 30 chief men went down and came to David in the harvest time to the cave of Adullam, and the troop of the Philistines were encamped in the valley of Rephaim. David was then in the stronghold, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. David longed and said, Oh, that one would give me water to drink of the well of Bethlehem which is by the gate. The 3 mighty men broke through the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it, and brought it to David. But he would not drink of it, but poured it out to the Lord. He said, Be it far from me, Lord, that I should do this. Shall I drink the blood of the men who went in jeopardy of their lives? Therefore he would not drink it. These things did the 3 mighty men. Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief of the 3. He lifted up his spear against 300 and killed them, and had a name among the 3. Wasn't he most honorable of the 3? Therefore he was made their captain. However, he didn't attain to the first 3. Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done mighty deeds, he killed the 2 sons of Ariel of Moab. He went down also and killed a lion in the midst of a pit in the time of snow. He killed an Egyptian, a good man, and the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff, and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and killed him with his own spear. These things did Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and had a name among the 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he didn't attain to the first 3. David set him over his guard. Asahel the brother of Joab was one of the 30. Elhanan the son of Dodo of Bethlehem, Shammah the Harodite, Elkah the Harodite, Helez the Paltite, Ira the son of Ikish the Tekoite, Abiezer the Anathothite, Mebonai the Hushathite, Zalmon the Ahohite, Mahorai the Netophathite, Heleb the son of Baana the Netophalite, Ittai the son of Ribai of Gibeah of the children of Benjamin, Benaiah a Pirathonite, Hiddai of the brooks of Gaash, Abialbon the Arbathite, Asmaveth the Barhumite, Eliabah the Shaalbanite, the sons of Jashin, Jonathan, Shammah the Hararite, Ahiam the son of Sharar the Erarite, Eliphalet the son of Ahasbai, the son of the Maakathite, Eliam the son of Ahithophel the Gilonite, Hezro the Carmelite, Paarai the Arbite, Egal the son of Nathan of Zobah, Bani the Gadite, Zelek the Ammonite, Naharai the Berothite, armor-bearers to Joab the son of Zeruiah, Ira the Ithrite, Gareb the Earthite, Uriah the Hittite, 37 in all. Chapter 24. Again the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them, saying, Go number Israel and Judah. The king said to Joab, the captain of the host who was with him, Go now back and forth through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, and number the people, that I may know the sum of the people. Joab said to the king, Now the Lord your God add to the people, however many there may be, 100 times, and may the eyes of my lord the king see it. But why does my lord the king delight in this thing? Notwithstanding, the king's word prevailed against Joab, and against the captains of the host. Joab and the captains of the host went out from the presence of the king to number the people of Israel. They passed over the Jordan, and encamped in Aroer, on the right side of the city that is in the middle of the valley of Gad, and to Jazer. Then they came to Gilead, and to the land of Tatim Hodshi, and they came to Dan Jaan, and round about to Sidon. And they came to the stronghold of Tyre, and to all the cities of the Hivites, and of the Canaanites, and they went out to the south of Judah at Beersheba. So when they had gone back and forth through all the land, they came to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. Joab gave up the sum of the numbering of the people to the king, and there were in Israel 800,000 valiant men who drew the sword, and the men of Judah were 500,000 men. David's heart struck him after that he had numbered the people. David said to the Lord, I have sinned greatly in that which I have done. But now, Lord, put away, I beg you, the iniquity of your servant, for I have done very foolishly. When David rose up in the morning, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and speak to David. Thus says the Lord, I offer you 3 things. Choose one of them that I may do it. So Gad came to David and told him and said to him, Shall 7 years of famine come to you in your land? Or will you flee 3 months before your foes while they pursue you? Or shall there be 3 days' pestilence in your land? Now consider what answer I shall return to him who sent me. David said to Gad, I am in a great strait. Let us fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man. So the Lord sent a pestilence on Israel from the morning even to the time appointed, and there died of the people from Dan even to Beersheba 70,000 men. When the angel stretched out his hand toward Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented of the evil and said to the angel who destroyed the people, It is enough, now stay your hand. The angel of the Lord was by the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. David spoke to the Lord when he saw the angel who struck the people, and said, Behold, I have sinned, and I have done perversely, but these sheep, what have they done? Please let your hand be against me and against my father's house. Gad came that day to David, and said to him, Go up, rear an altar to the Lord in the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. David went up, according to the saying of Gad, as the Lord commanded. Araunah looked forth, and saw the king and his servants coming toward him, and Araunah went out and bowed himself before the king with his face to the ground. Araunah said, Why is my lord the king come to his servant? David said, To buy the threshing floor from you, to build an altar to the Lord, that the plague may be stayed from the people. Araunah said to David, Let my lord the king take, and offer up what seems good to him. Behold, the oxen for the burnt offering, and the threshing instruments, and the yokes of the oxen for the wood. All this, king, does Araunah give to the king. And Araunah said, The Lord your God accept you. The king said to Araunah, No, but I will most assuredly buy it of you for a price. Neither will I offer burnt offerings to the Lord my God which cost me nothing. So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. David built there an altar to the Lord, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. So the Lord was entreated for the land, and the plague was stayed from Israel.